All right, this is the third video in our initiative series. And for this video, we wanted to talk about how to create initiatives in a little bit more detail. And to kind of just start us off, what we talked about earlier and where initiatives come from, we said they come from the initiative hypothesis. So again, we had an outcome, initiative outcome that we wanted to achieve, which is the outcome for this year. And we wanted to take a look to see, hey, what's the relationship between our assumptions, the initiative outputs that we're going to create, and the initiative outcome, which the company really wants? And we said that we're basically going to create these when, if, then type statements, right? And I'm just going to kind of display what we said that we create from before. You know, we had this statement of kind of given, if, then. And earlier we said that our assumption was if we had a high demand for our product in Asia, that again, the assumption is that there is a high demand there. And we said that if we partner with existing value added resellers who are targeting our target customers, then we would be able to go ahead and accomplish our outcome, which is 5 offices in China, Singapore, Korea, Vietnam, right? And so just a refresher. Well, we said in our initiative hypothesis that each one of those hypothesis statements has this if statement inside of it. And we had to have at least one initiative for each hypothesis for each one of those if statements. So the first thing I'm going to do when I'm trying to create my initiatives is look to my initiative hypothesis and look for that if statement, right? And what I should do and when I look for that if statement is I should actually, when I look at it, the first thing I do is a technique I call noun reduction. So in other words, I look at the if statement, I just underline all the nouns. And each one of the nouns in there, I ask the question, hey, do I need to build this or modify that noun in order to obtain the initiative outcome? And if the answer is yes, I create an initiative for it. And the next thing I do is I will look to see are all the other nouns, are they pieces of what I just created as an initiative? Or are they other initiatives that I need to create? Most often, they're just pieces of that big initiative. So I can have one initiative that accounts for everything from that statement. But again, you have to ask the question just to make sure that you don't miss anything. Now, once I actually do that noun reduction technique, and then I go forward afterward, and I want to make sure that I document this. And when I document it in a specific format. The format I like to use is I like to have if it's a capability for the organization, then I usually like to have the capability in the form of a verb in the present tense, followed by a noun, which is the object of that verb, and then any modifiers afterward that are necessary. And again, the context, the point of view that I create the capability from is always that of the customer because I want to be customer focused. So, just a refresher, right? The example we had before is given that there is a high demand for our product in Asia, if we partner with our existing value added resellers who are targeting our customers, then we will be able to build, there'll be enough demand to build 5 new offices in Asia. Right. So that was our hypothesis. And what we want to do in order to create the initiative and name it correctly is we think about, hey, from a customer perspective, what value do they receive from us having these 5 offices open in Asia? And the value that they receive, basically, they can obtain advice. So I have a verb in the present tense, object of the verb, and then I have modifiers after it from a local office in Asia. So now I have an initiative fully formed from my initiative hypothesis, right? And again, I've used this format where I got a verb in the present tense followed by a noun. And once I do that, the next thing I do is I want to actually be able to assess. Remember, we're doing this whole thing so that we can assess progress. So I want to be able to assess it. So how do I know that I actually have a situation that I've created the initiative in which my customers can actually obtain advice from a local office in Asia? So my acceptance criteria is just going to be answering that question. And what I start doing when I ask that question, hey, well, how do I know they can do that? Right? Well, one thing I would check to see is if there is a local representative that they can actually communicate with. Right? In order for this to work, we would have to have given the contact information for a local representative to customers in Asia and potential customers. Right? All right, what else would I need to be able to know that our customers can successfully attain advice at a local office in Asia? Well, not only should they be able to contact the representative, but there should be a knowledge expert at the local offices. So again, I'm just going to keep asking that same question of how do I know? What needs to exist? What must be true in order for me to know that my customers can obtain advice from a local office in Asia? And as I keep asking those questions and answering it, each answer becomes the acceptance criteria, right? And again, you want to have all this stuff labeled out so that you know that you can successfully, and you have successfully been able to um, create that initiative or conduct the initiative that the customer can actually accomplish the goal. So hopefully this is enough detail for you on how we actually create these initiatives. And that's the third part in the end of our series on the initiatives. In our next series, we're going to go down one layer lower. So we'll stop talking about initiatives. And what we'll do is we'll start talking about the next layer in our hierarchy, which is features. Again, and those features will also be the responsibility of the chief product owner. But hopefully you've learned something from this series, and we will see you next time.